ਵਾਹ ਵਾਹ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਆਪੇ ਗੁਰ ਚੇਲਾ ਵਾਹ ਵਾਹ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਆਪੇ ਗੁਰ ਚੇਲਾ
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ fateh. Satsangachi, it is always a great honor and a great privilege that we have this time to share together. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj at the time of Vaisakhi gave us a way of life, a principled way of living, and a discipline to understand how to live. This is the courage of Khalsa, that we've been given the understanding exactly of how to live in our lives, to help ourselves, to help others, to share with others, to give, to have the courage and the strength through this time. Khalsa means that I shall never fail, and means I should never fall. And that is what is imbued inside of us. That is what gave me that strength inside and continues to give me that strength today. Because my Guru said, you shall never fail and you shall never fall. But what keeps us up? At that time of Vaisakhi, people were afraid. What is happening with the Guru? But Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj taught us and showed us that courage, that way of being, and he showed us the humility, that he was no different. But what our Guru brought was that courage and that strength of mind. And Satsangaji, today we need that strength of mind, we need that courage of understanding, and most importantly, we need our daily practice. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj gave us Bani to read every single day, Simran that should never leave our consciousness for 1 second even. A way of giving, a way of living, so that we could stand the pressure of all that's going. And especially I worry about our children, our young people. Are they getting that depth of that understanding within themselves, or are they questioning and wondering why? And we have to give them those answers. It's our responsibility that we give them those answers. But if we don't know those answers, how can we answer their questions? They're so smart, these young ones. They have so much at their fingertips that we didn't have growing up, that they know everything. In fact, it's overload, we call it. There's too much that goes into them. But then what do we do as parents? What do we do as counselors? What we do, Gyanis, what we do to help them is to live the life and the practice and engage them within that. If we don't live it, they will not live it. And if we say they should live it, they'll watch to see if we live it or not. If we rise in the Amrit Vela, if they see our discipline, they see our practice, they see our devotion, our humility, our seva, then they'll want to come with us. Because they are asking the questions, what is happening right now? They want to know this virus is spreading. We're being locked inside. We can't go out to meet with each other. We can't go even to the Gurdwara. We can't even go to have that darshan at the feet of the Guru. At this time, many would want to do Amrit. They can't even Amrit chak. So everything is different. There may come a time when there won't even be a nitnem that we can read from. We'll have to memorize every Bani. Time may come. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj prepared the Khalsa for that time. He says to have that strength and have that courage, be this. And he gave us that way to live. And today we have to live it like that. We have to live that we're not afraid of what tomorrow shall bring. In fact, what we're going to do is help that tomorrow shall be better. And that attitude, positiveness, you could say. But what gives the mind that courage? That is the vibration of the Nam. Because I had to learn it from that way to understand it. I think in an English way, I speak English. And my mind had to be able to compute, to be able to understand, okay, what is Gurbani? What are these teachings? What did Guru Nanak Dev Ji bring at this time that I was so attracted to, that I wanted to learn more, and still after 40 some odd years, at the feet of the Guru, I still every day learn more and more. Because I found that Guru gave all the pieces of the puzzle. But we have to see how that fits to our life. We have to understand what is the balance that Gurbani brings to our life. I rise every day Amrit Vela, I have to. It's not a question, do I want to? It's not a question, well, I might tomorrow morning. I don't have that question. I only know one thing, time to get up. That alarm rings, and that alarm is that alarm. It alarms me. Get up. And when that alarm goes up, that's that alarm of courage. Do I want to get up? No. Would I rather stay in bed as nice and cozy? Yes. But I know that if I don't begin my day, I start with my practice of doing my exercise, then we do our Simran, and then we read our Nitnem every morning. Then we do our day's work. And that prepares me for that day's work. That 10% of my day, 2.4 hours, that I give to Guru, then Guru gives back to me that 90% and takes care of it for me. And then I know my day will be smooth. I know that this mind of mine will be conditioned that I will understand what my day is. One day one of the young people said to me, they said, Bhai Sahib, why do we have to keep going Vaheguru, 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 and repeat Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru? And I answered, I said, when you go to that gym, do you do just one lift and then you're gone? He said, no. I said, what do you do? He said, well, I lift once, twice, 3 times, up and down, up and down. I say, what happens? He said, well, then my arms get strong. And I said, that is why we repeat Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru Simran, so that our mind becomes strong. That is the strength of our mind. The strength of our mind, by vibrating Vaheguru, 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 and the repetition of that opens our heart. And as our heart opens and our Atma, our soul connect to the vibration of Vaheguru, then that peace comes within us. The brain may be reciting, our tongue is reciting, it is touching the upper palate as we recite Vaheguru, Vaheguru, as we read our Bani, but that goes in deep inside. And that heart blossoms, opens, and the soul, that Atma, becomes connected to Paramatma, to the infinite soul. And when we connect within the infinite soul through the opening of our heart, and Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru becomes the vibration of our consciousness, then that is the tool that we have, that we shall never fail and we shall never fall. It's not a difficult formula, but is one we have to do every single day to build that strength, to condition ourselves mentally, physically, and within the spirit. Is always working in that Trinity. Will always work in the Trinity of body, mind, and that spirit. We call that Trinity 3 things. The body itself has to be working properly. What does it mean that a body works properly? Body means that circulation, our breath, the prana, that breath, is strong within us, that our body is physically relaxed and our muscles are stretched, that we feel a calmness that comes through being relaxed. And when we're physically relaxed, and then our nervous system, glandular system, immune system, digestive system, respiratory system, all these parts that need to be strong, especially today, to face what we have to face and to protect ourselves physically, has to be in order. That's why we have the history of training. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj trained the soldiers, had them run with the Khalsa soldiers, had them run with the horses to build that strength and build that stamina. And as they were running with the horses, Vaheguru, 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 to build the mental strength. So physical is one, mental strength comes through Gurbani. Mental strength comes through Nam Simran. Because that gives us that mental capacity that the mind shall never be wavering. The mind shall never fall apart. I've spoken many, many times in many of my kata for many years that the mind of this human is becoming like the tail. They know that snake that rattles at the end of their tail. They have that rattle, goes like that. I said for many years now that the mind of a human will become rattling like that snake's tail. Because the pressure will be so strong, environmental pressure, the political pressures, the pressures we now face with this virus, but we're facing that pressure where we have to change the entire way that we live, creates a mental stress, a mental anxiety, a fear, a doubt within us about our future. And if we get stuck in that duality means one part thinks this way, one part thinks that way. Guru says that duality is the fight that a human has between their birth and their death. And when we keep that duality means do I fight that I should live, or do I let myself die, either physically or mentally die? And when we get stuck in that duality created by fear, Guru says when we don't meditate on Gurbani, when we don't vibrate Simran, when we don't keep up our daily practice, that this is what happens. We fall into that duality. It's a question of life, living or dying. Guru says very clear to us. And when I understood that, I said, I don't want to die. I want to live. So therefore, get out of that duality. How? Guru gives us the methodology. Guru gives us the way to work through it very simply, not difficult. He says, come to my feet. Chant God's name, Nam Simran Vaheguru. So we're mentally prepared and we're spiritually strong. The Dharma has to be stronger than our karma. Somebody asked me that day, they said, how does Gurbani alter that consciousness? How does Gurbani shift that way of thinking? And my answer was very simple that day. I said, when Gurbani is vibrating within your mind, within your consciousness, within your awareness, and is more powerful than the thoughts of the mind, you've conquered this world. Manjit, Jagjit, conquer the mind, conquer the world is in Gurbani. But Guru says, here's how, simple. When the vibration of Vaheguru becomes stronger in your mental self, and Gurbani is vibrating stronger than the thoughts that come into your mind, then you win at life. That's why Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj gave us a daily practice, a daily nitnem. That every day read our Bani. Every day. Because each Bani gives us that perspective of life. And gives us the command of life. Our Gurus taught that we should not be a slave to this mind of ours, but we should command this mind of ours. And we see in the generations, especially look at our children today. Our children today do not want controlling parents. It's true, you know that. And the young people that are watching understand, you don't want controlling parents, but you want wise counselors. Our children want our wise counsel. They come to us only for that. We're the ones that play into them and baby and this and that. But they don't want controlling parents. They want wise counselors because they have every information they need at their fingertip. They press the button, they can get whatever answers they want. But they look to us as mentors, as parents, for that wise way to life. Don't we look to an elder for that wise counsel? They look to us the same. And we have to be able to answer. If we say, I don't know, find somebody else, ask a Bhai Sahib, ask Gyaniji. But we have to answer that question. And the longer that we deny it, knowing if that's true and we believe it's true, and I'm saying that it's true, and Guru's words are always true, never not true. And the only wisdom I have gained is through Guru's Kirpa, that's all. I don't know a lot. I know that I'm devoted at the feet of my Guru, and my Guru will give me the understanding no matter what. And that Guru's Hukamnama is that order every day to understand more deeply how I act and how I react, how I am devoted or how I'm getting caught in Maya, all in duality. It's very clear. Guru makes it very clear to us. There's no second thinking of it. That's why we're afraid to read the Hukamnama. That's why we are in fear of listening and following Guru's words. Because Guru will always reach to that highest part within us to succeed in life. But when there's that duality, that fight between birth and death, and if we choose that manmukh, if we choose the mind over consciousness, that's when we fail. We'll never win it. It's only temporary victory. Temporary victory means you might think you won it for a moment, but the long of it is that you never win it. Whenever we just come from that mind of a manmukh, that mind that only we know everything and we're above the teachings of our gurus and we're greater than that, whenever that duality exists within us is temporary. It'll never sustain. Sustain means we're going to fall apart. It's always going to happen. I'm telling you my experience. I've been around a few years. But when we devote at the feet of the Guru, when we allow our consciousness to become that clear and that understanding through our daily practice, through Gurbani, we'll always succeed. Because Guru is always there guiding. Is not my will, is the will of my God. We say in English simply, you can run after and try to get something and run after it, or we can be and receive it. Guru says, open your heart, open your Atma, open your soul, vibrate God's name, Ek Onkar, vibrate Ek Onkar Satanam, Karta Purk, Nirbo, Nirvera Kal, Murat Ajuni Saibang, Gur Prasada Jap, Ada Satcha, Jugada Satcha, Hebbi Satcha, Nanak Hosipi Satcha. Simple. Vibrate that Mool mantra, make the Mool mantra your root. That mantra is the root of you, is the root of each of us, is the exact understanding of the relationship of a human in this world. A world that doesn't express and doesn't teach us how to become living as a human being. But Guru and Guru Nanak Dev Ji brought to us that understanding of how a human lives as a human. How a human lives as a human. There's a differentiation between an animal and a human. Animals go by their instinctive understanding, but a human goes by their reason, because we have a mind that reasons. That same mind that can reason, that brings us to the feet of God, is that same mind that can fool us into believing that we are greater than that God. That's the difference. Guru brings us always to that understanding that when we serve that God, when we bow to Mattatek at the feet of our Guru, Guru is looking after everything for us. Everything. That we have to trust. And that to me is Vaisakhi, as the Guru Gobind Singh Ji stood to say, do you trust in your Guru that your Guru shall carry you through this? And many that day ran. But those who stayed, who understood, and those five, the Panch Pyari, those five who stood that day understood. that in that duty was beauty and stood for it. It stood for it, never failing and never fail, and were looked after. And to this day and for thousands of years to follow, we shall never forget those who gave their life. Because every day in our das, we remind ourselves of those who had the courage to stand, those who had the courage to give their lives, those who had the courage to see their children in front of them slaughtered, those who shared what they had, those who saw what was wrong in others but forgave them. That we say in our das every single day. Because the first prayer of the Khalsa is Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru. So Satsangati is a simple way I see it. It's a simple way that Guru has taught me to live it. And I do try to do my best to live it that way so that I can always inspire myself and I can always help others so I never become depressed. And in this time when we're facing these viruses, all these things that we have to face and we have to deal with, these understandings we have to hold dear within us. And I gave that Trinity, body, mind, and spirit. And Guru gives us that Trinity, Pavan Guru, Panipita, Matta, Dharta, Mahatta. That's the Trinity I'm talking. Pavan Guru. Pavan, what is the Pavan? Pavan is that breath. Pavan is the air. And in Pavan is Pran. Pran we read in Gurubani. Pran means energy, life energy. Pran energy is the life energy of the breath, Pavan. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, Pavan Guru. That the air that we breathe is the Guru. Without that breath, there's no life. But we don't know how to breathe right. That's why we do the exercises and teach the breathing techniques, so that we breathe properly and fully. Panipita, that the water is the Father, because Father is the sustainer. And water sustains us. Because it said you can only live a certain amount of time you don't drink water. And water is the Father, the sustainer of this life. And Father has to give that guidance and that strength and that sustenance like the Pani. Matta, Dharta, Mahatta. And we have to understand the relationship of this Mother and the Mother Earth. We have to understand that relationship, that we're born of that energy. And this earth is created through that energy. And when we don't protect the Mother energy and the Mother Earth, this is what happens to this earth. And however God and Guru designed this to slow everything down, that we have to stay isolated, that we have to stop. For as hard as that may be for some, but look at what changes that has made in this planet. Environmentally, the planet needed a break. How long did we think Mother Earth was going to go on and let us continue to take every resource out and not replenish that resources? How long is that going to last? Is it going to last forever? Nay, it's not going to last. So Mother Nature herself knew what was going to be. And to understand that the consciousness now is a global consciousness of peace. Because war will not bring peace. Don't listen. War will not bring peace. That's what they're telling you. They want the wars only for political gain. But war will not bring peace. Peace will come through the vibration of God's name, no matter what your faith is, no matter what your belief is. The dharma of this world has to be Ek Onkar, has to be the oneness of all creation. Guru Nanak Dev Ji came at this exact time to spread this exact message of truth, of Ek Onkar. To bring that message of one God, one Creator who created all creation and created each of us equally. Each of us equally. That not one is better than another, Not one thinks they shall be the king, the other doesn't have any right. Our gurus stood for the human rights of all people, of all faiths, of all ways of living and being. Our gurus stood for them to show and give a practice and sacrifice their own lives so that others could walk and be free. So Satsangaji, we have to also share that message. Khalsa is that message of that consolidation of our gurus into the technology of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. And Guru Gobind Singh Ji at Vaisakhi created Khalsa to vibrate that understanding, to serve others and to be a shining beacon of light in these times. And we have to be unified as Sangat together. So much over the world, all over the world, so much of our Sangat is being recognized for the seva, feeding others. The Gurdwaras are making the langar and serving langar outside, or giving the langar to those who need. At this time, no one in this world is doing that seva, except within our faith. To help anybody should have food. Anyone should be able to eat. And I've said so many times over these years that a time will come when so many will want to come to our Gurdwara, of many different beliefs, of faiths, of way of lives. And they'll say, this is the one place that we can come where we feel peaceful. And it's happening that way. And I've watched it over these years. Because I understood many, many years ago as I started on these teachings, and even before, that came to my mind, even as a young person, as a teenager, that this world was going to go through many shifts. And I understood, I don't know why, and I don't know how, I don't question it, but I understood that I would become some instrument in this process of change. And I wanted to understand and know and be ahead of what was going to happen. And when I came to the feet of the Guru at the age of 24 years old, 44 years ago, right at that exact moment, I knew I found that technology that would carry me through to today. And it's true, because why? I'm still here today. I'm here with you. So something must have been that way. So Satsangaji, it is always my greatest honor and privilege to be together. And I just want to share that inspiration and that courage. Don't lose sight. Guru gives us such a strength, such a command, that we shall never fall, nor we shall ever fail in this life. And through these times that we're facing, which are hard times, we have to even more be together as Sangat. We have to more be devoted to Guru's Bani. We have to be more devoted that we rise in the Amrit Vela, and that we prepare ourselves, and that our children see that example, and we share that with them every single day. Do Qurbani, do Simran, something with your children is so important. I can't tell you more how important it is. And we shall move through these times, prosper through these times, and Guru shall carry us to a better tomorrow.
Vah vah Gobind Singh aaphe Gur chela. Vah vah Gobind Singh aaphe Gur chela. Vah vah Gobind Singh aaphe Gur chela.